llama Pobre Señor Suárez. Es una actividad del supersitio que habla de una persona que se llama Señor Suárez que tiene una mala experiencia en un restaurante. Y durante esta historia ustedes van a conocer el concepto del pretérito, pero de verbos más o menos irregulares. Ok, entonces ahora vamos a leer la historia. Los señores Suárez llegaron al restaurante a las 8 y siguieron al camarero a una mesa. Siguieron al camarero a una mesa. Los señores Suárez refiere a dos personas, el señor Suárez y la señora Suárez. Llegaron al restaurante y siguieron al camarero a una mesa. Tengo dos preguntas sobre esta información, principalmente la gramática. So, at first glance, hearing this story, is this talking about an action or something that occurred in the past? Or is this talking about what they do regularly, present? Past, and we can tell that why. How do we know immediately that this is talking about an experience in a restaurant that has already occurred? What indicates that this story is going to be in the past tense? Preterit. We have some verbs in the preterit. Llegaron, siguieron. We have some verbs in the preterit tense. So they arrived at a restaurant at 8 o'clock, and then they did what? What is a camarero? That's a new vocab word. Mesero, camarero. Es la persona en el restaurante que nos sirve la comida. Es la persona que sirve la comida. A waiter, camarero. You also hear the word mesero, like mesa, mesero or mesera. Camarero. So what did they do to the waiter? It says that they arrived at the restaurant at 8 o'clock and they blanked the waiter to the table. Followed. They followed. Okay, so siguieron is the word to say they followed. And we're going to go through these verbs again and kind of work backwards as to what makes them stem changing. You might already know, but to that. El señor Suárez pidió una chuleta de cerdo, una palabra de vocabulario. La señora Suárez decidió probar los camarones. So what did Señor Suárez do? What is pidió una chuleta de cerdo? He what? Ordered. Exactly. Pidió means ordered. He ordered. What's a chuleta de cerdo? Pork chop. Y la señora Suárez decidió probar los camarones muy populares en Charleston, ¿no? ¿Les gustan los camarones a ustedes? Sí, a mí me gustan también. Para tomar, los dos pidieron vino. Para tomar, los dos pidieron. They both, los dos, the two, did what? What is pidieron? Ordered. Plural. Pidió, singular, pidieron, plural. Vino. Vino blanco? Normalmente, we would say rojo, because in English we say red wine. Pero en español es vino tinto. That's like muy importante. Because you will get laughed at or made fun of in a Spanish-speaking situation if you ordered as a gringo a vino rojo. They'd be like, oh, haha, gringos. It's vino tinto, just so you know. Like tinted, you know? Vino tinto. El camarero repitió el pedido para confirmarlo. Repitió. What's a camarero again? The waiter. What did he do? He repeated the order to confirm it. Muy importante, ¿no? Repitió el pedido. La comida tardó mucho en llegar y los señores Suárez casi se durmieron esperándola. So we don't need to translate literally word for word this sentence, but what's basically going on here? La comida tardó mucho. Yeah, it was late. It arrived late. So what almost happened? Casi means almost. Right, exactly. Fell asleep, dormirse, verbo reflexivo. Esperándola, waiting for it. Durmieran, stem changing verbs in the preterit. We're going to look at these carefully, specifically here in a second, but that's what this is saying. A las 9, el camarero les sirvió la comida. So then what happened? At 9, the waiter served them the food. Right, exactly. So sirvió is our verb of focus, but I do want to point out that this sentence has both a direct and an indirect object, because we're going to be talking about that next. We've already talked about these individually, but we're going to be talking about them together, because oftentimes they go together, especially with a verb like servir. Does anybody know who the indirect object is? Or what word indicates the indirect object in this sentence? Does anybody know? Anastasia? Lace is our indirect object because it's referring to who?
Los señores Suárez.
Sí, los señores Suárez. This is our indirect object pronoun. We're not saying their names specifically here, but we are referring to them because they're the recipients of the direct object, which is what? La comida is the direct object. So I want to point these out because we're going to be talking about these next week. Direct object. Is it a pronoun or not? La comida. Is la comida a pronoun or just a noun?
No.
It's just a noun. We didn't use lo, la, los, or las to replace it. It's just the noun. Okay, so at 9 o'clock, the waiter served food. Después de comer la chuleta de cerdo, señor Suárez se sintió muy mal. Se sintió muy mal. What happened? What is después de comer? After eating what? His chuleta de cerdo? ¿Cómo se dice chuleta de cerdo? After eating his pork chop, and I want to point out something grammatical that I saw on the test that a lot of people got right, but some people got wrong. Después de results in an infinitive. You don't want to conjugate the verb after de, and you'll need to carry that with you through 202. De is a preposition, and we don't conjugate verbs after prepositions like por, para, de, infinitive. Sin, con, infinitive. You never conjugate them. So after eating, even though when we translate it, it's like an ing word. You don't conjugate it in Spanish. Se sintió means what? He what? Yeah, he felt really bad. Pobre señor Suárez, ¿por qué no pidió los camarones? So, pobre means what? Pobres. Poor señor Suárez. ¿Por qué no pidió los camarones? And what does pidió mean again?
Order.
Yes. Why didn't he order the shrimp? Chuleta de cerdo. So, to reiterate those verbs that we went through and figured out their meaning, it's important to work backwards. That's what I said we were going to do. We're going to work backwards. I'm not going to tell you, these are the verbs that have stem changes, and these are the forms they have stem changing. See them in context. That's how you learn them. So, siguieran, we've got a couple of verbs. No, actually just one. What did this verb mean again? Because this is on your chart now in your notes. You have the infinitive. Oh, we don't have the meaning provided. But you can also include what it means. And the stem change that occurred. What did this mean? Siguieron al camarero a la mesa? Followed, right. And does anybody know the infinitive of siguieron? Seguir. So our stem change is the letter E to what? The E changes to I. Siguieron. So on the supersite, if this is the verb, seguir in parentheses or in the word bank, remember the stem change. We've got dos verbos, pidió, pidieron. ¿Cuál es el infinitivo?
Pedir.
Pedir. So this verb has a stem change of E to what? E to I. What does pedir mean again? What does pediran mean? Order, right. It can mean to ask for, like ask a favor, or to order food. Ordenar also means to order. That's easier, and there's no stem change, but pedir is used more commonly. Repitio. ¿Cuál es el infinitivo? Repetir. Not the first E, but the second E changes to what letter? An I. So, seguir, pedir, repetir. And there's two more that have a stem change of E to I. Dormir is not, so we're going to skip down to sirvió. ¿Cuál es el infinitivo de sirvió? Servir. And what does servir or sirvió mean? Serve. That one's easy. E to I. And then our last one, does anybody know what the infinitive is for se sintió? Actually, sentir se. It's a reflexive verb, like dormir se, but it has an E to I stem change. Those are our E to I stem changing verbs. There's a couple more in the book. But then now let's talk about se dormirán. ¿Cuál es el infinitivo? Dormirse. Excelente. Dormirse. And so our stem change in present tense is O to UE, but notice in past tense, the preterite tense, it's O to what? Just you. Just you. And chicos, muy importante. What forms have the stem change in the preterite tense? Does it make the shape of a boot? No. Actually, all of this story, who's the story about that we just went through? It was about who? Señor Suarez and a little bit about Señora Suarez. So third person, singular and plural. He, she, you formal, they, and y'all. That's the only person. So when we talk about present tense verbs, and a lot of these verbs in present tense are stem changing verbs. In present tense, they make the shape of a shoe or a boot. When we put them out on their conjugation. But in the preterite tense, these verbs occur in their third person form. So on your handout, they're the ones that are in the gray. And I like to think of them as like sandalias or something, flip-flops. They don't make the shape of a shoe. Third person forms. No yo, no tú, no nosotros. Remember that on the super site. Because if I followed, I would just say seguí. If I followed you, I'd say te seguí. Don't worry, I'm not going to follow anyone. But if I did follow you, I'd say te seguí. No stem change. It's only if maybe somebody followed you. Me siguió. That would be sketchy. Okay, and in your libros en página 206 tenemos una lista de todos los verbos. Servir, pedir, preferir, repetir, conseguir, and vestirse. Conseguir is the only one that's not obvious. Seguir means to follow. Conseguir is to obtain. Like to get a copy of a book. Or like from the library. Or get a job or something like that. What about morir? Elvis murió. Died. Morir. Ending on a negative note, but it's Elvis. It's okay. Okay, chicos.